Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel Legal Decipher. In the previous video, we had discussed about the introduction to the Indian Penal Code 1860 in a brief sense. If you have not seen that video, you can go and check it. The link is in the description below. In this video, we will learn about chapter 1 of the Indian Penal Code. We will go through the chapter and try to understand the substances therein. So if you are new here, please like and subscribe to my channel to get the video notifications. So let's get started. So today we are going to talk about chapter 1 of the Indian Penal Code. It basically talks about introduction. Now first of all, we should understand that the preamble says that whereas it is expedient to provide a general penal code for India, it is enacted as follows. So we have already read in the previous video that the basic idea behind enactment of the Indian Penal Code was to provide a general penal code for India. Now, section 1 talks about title and extent of operation of the code. It says this act shall be called the Indian Penal Code and shall extend to the whole of India except the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Now, as we all know, after the scrapping of Article 35A and 370, the Act has an application in the Union Territory of Ladakh and Jammu. Now, Section 2 talks about punishment of offences committed within India. It says every person shall be liable to punishment under this code and not otherwise for every act or omission contrary to the provisions thereof, of which he shall be guilty within India. So basically it says that every person who has committed an offence within the territorial jurisdiction of India shall be liable to a punishment according to this act. And section 3 says punishment of offences committed beyond but which by law may be tried within India. So any person liable by any Indian law to be tried for an offence committed beyond India shall be dealt with according to the provisions of this code for any act committed beyond India in the same manner as if such act had been committed within India. So basically section 3 says that the punishment for those offences that are committed beyond India but that offences can be tried by any law within India will be punished here. And section 4 says extension of code to extraterritorial offences. The provisions of this code apply also to any offence committed by any citizen of India in any place without and beyond India, any person on any ship or aircraft registered in India wherever it may be, any person in any place without and beyond India committing offence targeting a computer resource located in India. So basically what this section says is that this act also has extraterritorial jurisdiction in certain cases. What are those cases? Say for example, the citizen of India has committed any crime beyond India. So he is a registered citizen of India and he has moved out of the territories of India and committed a crime thereby. If that crime is an offence in India, then he will be tried for the same offence wherever he has committed it. Now any person who is on board a ship or an aircraft that is registered in India will also be dealt with under the provisions of Indian Penal Code if he has committed a crime on such ship or aircraft that is registered in India. So anything that is registered in India will be considered as a property of India, and whenever you are committing a crime upon such property, then the Indian Penal Code will be applicable on you. So the citizenship of that person does not matter. If such person has committed a crime upon any ship or aircraft that is registered in India, he will be dealt with under the provisions of Indian Penal Code. Now any person in any place without and beyond India committing offence targeting a computer resource that is located in India. So the computer resource is located in India. Say for example the main server or the main machine from which the network is created, that is in India, and any person, whether within or without, that means whether within the territories of India or operating beyond the territories of India, has targeted that computer resource, that person will also be dealt with under the provisions of Indian Penal Code. Now, explanation says that the word offense includes every act committed outside India, which, if committed in India, would be punishable under this code. So, it does not matter what kind of act he has committed or wherever he has committed it. If it is an offense considered under the Indian Penal Code in India, then he will be punishable under this code. And also, the expression computer resource shall have the meaning assigned to it in clause K of subsection 1 of section 2 of the Information Technology Act 2000. So, the expression computer resource have been explained in the Information Technology or the IT Act of 2000. So, if you read section 2 subsection 1 clause K of that act, you will get the explanation of the expression computer resources. Now, section 5 says that certain laws not to be affected by this act. It says nothing in this act shall affect the provisions of any act for punishing mutiny and desertion of officers, soldiers, sailors or airmen in the service of the government of India, or the provisions of any special or local law. So, no special or local law provisions would be harmed or disturbed by the Indian Penal Code's provisions, and the punishment for mutiny or desertion of officers, soldiers, sailors or airmen, that means the personnel of armed forces, will not be affected by the provisions of this act.
So let us understand a little bit elaborately upon this subject matter. Section 2 basically states that where any offense has been committed by any person in India, he can be tried and punished in India. So if a foreign national commits a crime, for example, anything that is considered a crime under the Indian Penal Code, he can be tried and punished under IPC. He can neither plead ignorance of law nor can justify his act on the ground that in his country the act in question is not considered a crime. So that will not be a defense for him. Now, section 2 of IPC makes every person liable to punishment for every act or omission under the code. So certain categories of persons, however, are exempted from criminal prosecution, say for example the foreign sovereigns or UN officials or foreign ambassadors, diplomats and envoys, presidents and governors, etc. Now, this act has an intra-territorial jurisdiction and an extraterritorial jurisdiction. And section 3 basically talks about those extraterritorial jurisdictions. It says that if a person liable under the Indian law commits an offense beyond India, he can be tried under the code for such act in the same manner as if such act had been committed within India. And section 4 extends the provision of the code to an offense committed by a citizen of India anywhere beyond India, as also an offense committed by any person on ship or aircraft registered in India. So this is basically based on the rule that the jurisdiction of court over its citizens is not lost by the reason of venue of offense. So we can definitely understand that any offense that is committed on Indian ship on high seas, or offenses committed on foreign ship in territorial waters of India, and offenses committed by pirates also come within the purview of Indian Penal Code. So that's all in this video. If you like my videos, then don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching this video.